It's off, right?
I think you're the coach. My son's not doing that.
Yeah, isn't that the password, right?
I got it. It worked.
Okay.
It just took a while.
It's a church. Ready to begin.
No, she did not answer.
No, okay.
Nothing saying that, but he's well.
He's so far, he's doing well. Thank you.
Happy Veterans Day to your family.
Yes, today is the rebirth.
Hey, I just want to make sure you don't hop on Zoom.
Very much that.
6:30. I'll see you in just a minute. I curled my hair for you. Okay, bye. Linda gets to look at me, but I'll be
That's very considerate.
Leadership.
right.
Is that part of your master board training?
It is.
Okay.
Okay, we're ready to get started. Everybody ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'd like to call this work session meeting to order. Hey,
Please remember to turn on your mics, speak loudly,
do I really?
and it'll pick you up better.
Okay. So we have some important decisions to make tonight. I think we can start maybe with the size of the committee and the board reps that would be on the committee, if we want board representation on the committee, and who that might be. Do you have any, I can open thoughts, since we had, after I counted, there were multiple entries on a couple of people, so there's roughly 33-ish people that applied to be on the committee that applied to do one side or the other. And there were 5 people that were neutral or unbiased. And then a couple of people that were a little ambiguous in their answers. So, based on those numbers, what are you thinking about for the size of the committee? My original thought last month when we started talking about this was like 15 people, so 7 people for, 7 people against. But I'm certainly not tied to that number. I would appreciate your thoughts and input on that decision. It's not my decision, it's your decision.
I personally feel that's rather large.
Large, okay,
For a committee.
all right.
I was thinking more about 9.
So 4 pro, 4 con, and
3,
3, and 3.
And board representation.
Anyone else have thoughts on 3, and 3?
I think that would be, I don't know how easy that would be to figure out.
The ambiguous answers are a little hard to, to make a decision about, and there were some of them that I really like all the other answers of the questions, but the yes or no, was kind of a ambiguous, so I don't know how I want to handle
I like the idea of 4 and 4, 4 and 4, 4 against. But I would recommend us considering a plural chair. Maybe, do I need to turn this on, Jess?
that. Yeah. So 4 pro, 4 con, and then
And then a dual chair or a chair and a vice chair, if the committee were to subdivide, do the research, then you can have somebody to guide the discussion in different ways, keep things on task, and help with conflict resolution.
Okay.
Just a suggestion.
Thoughts on that?
I like that.
I think I like the 4 and 4. I don't dislike the 3, but
I just think it could prove to be difficult.
It's a volunteer committee, they can use it.
that's a good point. It's a lot falls on the chair, and that would be good to have some help. Hey, Linda. We were just discussing the numbers.
Like a member at large, not voting member maybe, I mean, just because we need that tiebreaker.
So the chair would act as a tiebreaker on
Right.
the recommendations of the board, and the other would be the vice chair, a member at large, serve and the chair cannot attend.
I was thinking that instead of having, I see what you're saying. I feel like through the committee process, if they don't lean one way or the other, then it's not a successful committee. I feel like they will lean one way or the other.
Right, but if you're doing even numbers, if
Right.
it's 5-5, then it's a split.
I'm counting on someone to be logical and make some common sense moves, or whichever way that might be.
Most committees, you have to have an odd number so you can get to the end point.
Say, the presidential election, just saying.
But I would think that the chair would also have the obligation for
But
that.
then you still have to have an even number, the chair will be the tiebreaker. Right.
Because the 4 and 4.
So the 4 and 4 plus the 9, so having 9.
Right,
Is that what you?
yeah.
Yes.
I'm down.
And then a member at large, though, for Mr. Barbosa's concerns.
Yeah, so the concept of the member at large, I think, if I understand you correctly, it's a vice chair, they're just there solely for administrative to help run things, they would not be a voting member, but they would assist the chair if the chair needed help.
If the chair got called away. Or,
I don't know, I kind of want I would be a little bit upset if I was on the committee, had to do all the work, and then didn't have a voice in the vote.
This is true,
Okay.
yeah, this is true.
Just saying.
and just not,
Let's go with that.
9? 9 members, Linda?
I can't hear what's being said.
I'm sorry, I didn't bring my extra speaker tonight. 9? Where's the speaker on that? 9 members? Oh, I didn't.
For the committee,
For the committee, so 4 pro, 4 con, or 4 on either side, and then a non-vice chair. Non-vice chair.
that sounds good. Yeah.
All right, that's one decision, and it's only 6 minutes in. It's hot dog. We're gonna get out of here tonight. Okay. Would you like to have some board members on the committee, and whom would like to serve?
is it necessarily a serving capacity, or is it just an observation capacity?
Voice, no vote.
Voice, no vote.
Right,
Well, because the committee meetings will be open to
right.
the public, and yeah. So voice, no vote. I'm down with that. Are y'all down with that? Linda, you down with that? Okay. So who would like to do that?
I'll do it.
Okay.
I'd like to go to.
Any discussion on that?
I'd be happy to help with any research, but I'm pretty stretched thin, stretched pretty thin now, tell my grammar, but I'd be happy to help with any research.
Well, so, by meaning you're
If you
searching
can't find,
things,
if you can't find something doing research, I'd be happy to use my resources through the community college, et cetera, to find anything that they're maybe looking for.
so that means you will not attend the meeting?
I do not plan to attend, except there, yeah,
And you will be attending all the meetings?
Mhm.
And you will be attending all the meetings, okay. Okay.
What was that, Diane and Stan?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. All right, that's 2 decisions in 8 minutes, hot dog, we're rolling. Okay, so how would you like to proceed in discussing our 4-member on either side? Do you want to just throw out some numbers that you are for? Just for our audience
So we're doing-
purposes. Oh, I'm sorry, Jerry.
How do you explain that? How do you go ones that are for change and ones that are against the change, and then you want to have one that's by, or you put 2 people that are by? So We either throw
Right.
either against and one that's by
What do you mean by?
tripart neutral. Yeah, neutral.
Alright, so,
I like to recommend we start with selecting a chair,
okay,
one individual. And so, what do we like to, so I'd like to nominate, candidate number 1 as a neutral chair.
I would concur with that, I like that a lot.
That one or 27.
I also respect 27.
I agree with 27.
I agree with 27.
When did you have the numbers there in front of you?
Yes.
Did you say number 1 and number 27? Just for our audience purposes, we are not going to be discussing personal characteristics of our applicants out in open, we are discussing the combined numbers. So,
Right.
so 1 or 27? Or pick another number.
I like 27.
Okay,
Yeah,
do we have a chair?
Take what you said.
I think we have a chair.
Do we need
Well, that,
to have a contingency plan so the committee is not behind?
that would be excellent. So would you be okay with 1 being the contingency? Like, if number 27 says no, number 1
Yeah.
would be okay? Okay.
I'm okay with that.
Are you writing this down? Yeah, girl, it's my job. Okay, right. Okay, that was good. That's like 3 decisions in 10 minutes. You're rolling.
I'd like, may I suggest that we start with individuals who have like, who advocate for changing the mascot in some form.
Sure. Yes.
So this before, so the contingency, number 1,
Yes.
they're not gonna be a part of the committee unless number 27
So
Withdraws.
Refuses.
withdraws.
Yes. And so with that being said, as we create this list, I think we should create our top 4 for the committee and 2 alternates.
that's great.
Now, I think we also, when we get to the next committee guidelines, we should probably keep in mind COVID and the realities of that.
Yeah, I saw some of the people, as I was stalking on Facebook, I saw people that were on this list that were quarantined. So we may have to do Zoom options.
That,
Well, I think that's legit anyway.
yeah, very much so.
I mean, if we're allowed to do it as board
Yes,
members, they
no,
should be
but-
allowed.
Oh,
to do
yeah,
it as
no,
well.
I don't, I
It's
wasn't
100%
saying that.
research should still be done.
I was
Collaboration.
contesting that, I was just saying that's exactly why I was there. So we need to make
My
it.
main concern is it's 2020, as we've all experienced in our own ways. I mean, look at your razor. And I just, in case somebody does need to take care of their family, their career, etc., I don't want that side to be without a voice.
I agree. Okay. Let's entertain people that are, what did you wanna do first, Joe?
Four changes.
For change, so people that are for, or numbers that are for change. I would like, number 20.
What about 3?
I'm okay with 3.
Okay with 3?
Okay with 3.
Good with 3? Just throw out another. Number 46. It's like bingo.
We'll get there.
More real.
I waver a little.
You waver a little on 46?
Yeah, I do
Okay.
as well.
Um,
I threw out 5.
do what?
I said 5.
I think I waver on number 5, not, yeah. 42.
I waiver 42.
Okay. Okay, I'll throw out one, I'll be happy.
23.
I'm fine with it.
I'm good with 23.
I'm good with 23. Linda, you got anybody you wanna suggest? Or that's in favor of the
I'm
change?
good with those.
Okay. So we need one more and then an alternate?
Can we pause to see where we're at? That way, my mathematics skills are pulling up. Jess, who do you have that we've thrown out so far?
I have number 20,
Okay.
number 3,
Yes,
and number 23.
thank you.
We have four.
Oh, I thought somebody said 46. Was that opposed? I didn't
That
hear.
was opposed, yes.
Okay.
45,
Okay, so we're still doing,
that's four,
Yes.
that's, we
we
need
already
four.
have 4.
No.
No,
We have
You
number
said
20,
20,
number 3.
3, and 20.
3, 20, 23.
20 is one of them too.
Oh, and 46 was a no?
46, that was an objection.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes,
Okay.
Again, we got 23, 3, and
20.
23. 3. And I just threw out 45.
about 19.
Hold on, guys.
Make sure.
It's not like we were first.
Yeah.
And then,
Okay, what was one you said?
19.
I like 6, if 19 is all right, but I'd rather have 6. 45, 6, 19.
I'm good with 6.
I object to 6.
You don't waver, you just object?
My grandma just accused me of being a politician enough this month.
Okay, so you're still looking at 19 and 45.
I recommend 19 as an excellent person for mediation if need be as well. 45.
I'm good with 19.
What did you just say, Joe? You're good with
19,
19?
yes.
I'm good with 19.
Is everybody's good with 19?
Mm.
Okay, so we need 2 alternates for that one.
I'll go with 45 for our first alternate.
I agree with that.
Everybody good with 45?
She had.
Okay, 45, okay.
Yes, 45, I'm sorry.
Yeah, 45 for all.
What do you want?
39 is the other option.
It's good with me. 39.
What was that last number?
39 is an alternate.
I waiver.
39.
Thank you.
I would too.
What about 35?
I waver on that.
How about 34?
I'm okay with that.
I waiver on that.
That work. 22.
No.
No. I waiver.
It was a good thought, Shane, thank you.
Oh,
12?
yeah, I was thinking 12 or 14.
14's a no-go for me.
What about 12?
It was 12.
Well, 12 says it does not have an opinion, and that's not our objective, right? This is people that are for change, so we're gonna have to revisit the people that
If you read his explanation though, but that's fine though.
I read this relatively neutral, so
Okay.
I see how he does them one way, I see arguments on both sides.
Okay.
So I think we need to go back to people that we've wavered on as a possibility. So I'll go with 5 again as an alternate. Deal with that.
I'm good with that one too.
Okay.
Is it
I
five?
don't know yet.
Okay.
Would you like to suggest more? Do you need seconds? No?
I need a second.
Okay.
I'm not okay with that.
Okay.
I would love to visit number 6 again.
What about 15?
15?
No?
I have no major objection.
I don't have an objection to it. 15?
Second alternate.
Sure.
Are the alternates gonna be going to all the meetings too, or just,
They need to.
I think that they need to be for sure.
so they can participate in discussion and all that too?
No, because at that point, they're still just members of the community.
Okay.
Yes,
We
who's
good?
that? No, who was that first alternate?
45.
Thank you so much.
So just so we're on the same page, you guys are looking for now for 4 members who are advocating for keeping the mask out. That's correct.
9?
I don't think so.
I agree with that.
You agree with 9?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, you yes for 9 or no for 9?
Yes, for 9.
Okay.
How about 2?
No. I disagree. Steve.
How about 40?
No.
I'm actually okay with 40 if you want to put it on the short list.
I'm okay with 40.
I'm not okay with 40.
How about 26?
I'm good with 26.
I'm good with 26.
I'm good with 26.
Okay.
26, the first decision we have.
Yes. 28 is also 29, 30, but we'll go with 28. Is that the first one she submitted?
I'm good with that.
Me too.
I'm good with that.
I'll go with that. How about 43?
Yes, I'm good with that.
Some of the, I was not good with that.
28 or 43?
43.
I'm good with 43. I'll throw 40 back out there too.
I would be better with 9 than I would be 40 or 43.
Well, with 9, are we at 2?
9 makes you 3,
Nine makes
Okay.
sense.
so we wanna go with 9.
I'm sorry, Jess, what was between 26 and 9?
28, March.
28.
How about 11?
It's 9 on
We
there.
didn't make a decision
No idea.
before you go into it, so, yeah. We've got 3 or 4 yeses, I'd say we can figure out the.
You've got, right now, you've got 9, 43, and 40 kind of floating around. You have 26 as a yes and 28 as a yes.
Was I the only one that had a concern with 9?
No, I did, but I'm okay with 9 over 40 and 43.
So we're good with 9, maybe? You still have one other spot left open.
Is 9 number 3?
No,
I don't know.
Thank you.
Okay, so we only have 2 right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
How many do we have with 43?
Can you say the ones we have again?
Yeah. 26 and 28.
Oh, for sure.
For sure. Y'all agree on?
What do we have, how many of those do we have, 43?
I don't know. Sorry.
I'm for it.
I'm for it. Diane, you were for 43, correct?
Yes, I was.
43.
Okay, 43 it is.
I'm just trying to think.
Okay, so you still have one spot left and then your 2 alternates.
Can somebody repeat the numbers we have so far? It's 26, 28,
And 43.
46,
43.
42.
Mhm.
That's what I thought, okay.
How about 31? Yes, 31.
I'm okay with 31.
Thirteen. 31 and 13.
I waver.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Are we intentionally, maybe this is something that I couldn't hear, are we intentionally filling these committees with only, Savannah graduates?
No, ma'am.
They are not all Savannah graduates.
That seems off to me, since we had people coming forward that were not graduates, that had opinions. I don't think it's representative of the entire community.
19 is not a Savannah grad, even though it's on the other side.
15 is not a Savannah graduate.
15 is
27
We do have
is
some,
not.
there are some diversity.
Okay, then I'm not hearing the correct numbers then.
Okay, so somebody objected
Do you
to,
want me to give you everything we have again?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Members who advocate for change, number 20,
Right,
number 3,
right,
23,
yes,
19,
yes.
2 alternates are 45 and 15.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, 15 is just an alternate then, right?
Yes.
And so far, he's the only one that's not a graduate.
19 is not a graduate.
19.
Okay, I read that wrong, I apologize.
27 is also
27 is not either. Up for chair.
Yeah, the 27 is also not a graduate, it's gonna be the chair.
45 is not a graduate either. So 1945-15 are not graduates.
And where is 45 on the against change?
Alternate on for change.
Oh, I've got that, I'm sorry, yes.
Okay.
And then so far on against change, we have 26.
Yeah, so for keeping the mascot, we have 26, 28, 43. No
Right.
decision has really been made for sure about 9.
Okay,
So yeah, we have 26, 28, and 43 for sure.
okay, thank you.
Thank God.
I'm not flipping pages, it's a lot easier to keep track.
Okay, so 9 is on the table. I suggested 11. Did somebody say nay for 13 or 31? But I also said
I said I waiver on 13.
on 13. Okay. Alright.
If you
Yes or
said
no?
11,
I said 11, yeah.
did anybody else say anything about 11? How about 24? We haven't mentioned that one.
24. Non-honest.
I'll give it 24.
So 24.
Okay, so now you need to pick your alternate.
How about 9 for an alternate?
I'll give it that.
Anybody opposed to 9 as an alternate? How about 11 as an alternate?
Okay, whoa, hold on here. Well, go ahead, discuss, I guess.
I think I'm good with both of those.
I have no knowledge.
I don't know more. I don't know more.
Sure.
Committee?
Well, I have a recommendation for
Okay, yeah.
Actually, we did not put that on their business item, we put it under discussion item.
make a
Because
motion
we've already voted to form it, so
We'll
we
make
just.
a motion to move it.
That's fine.
Because we haven't approved this committee, that's correct.
You've already approved it.
We've already.
Really? Okay, do we have it?
Okay,
I'll make more work for you.
7 o'clock. You wanna talk committee guidelines real quick?
Yes, so in front of you, so I've tried to come up with lots of help from Joe, kind of some guidelines on how the committee will run and what their purpose is. I didn't send this to you, Linda, I'm sorry.
I think you said it to all of us, right? All of us, yeah.
Like, I think I've added some things to it.
Oh, okay.
I have, at least I've added the last one, on the responsibility column, which just says provide recommendations to the committee. So. Any comments, changes, additions, deletions? I was just doing what I thought a committee should. I did ask for feedback, we got them a couple times, and didn't hear just a couple comments, which is great.
I do, you're talking about this, correct?
Yes.
I would like it to be specific with, dialogue with the Oto, Missouri tribe, because that is who was displaced from here.
I put that under future considerations, but we can move that to Oto tribe.
I really respect that.
Move it up.
And I want that more than anything else in this systemic conversation, that we establish that dialogue. And the fact that we reach out to the Missouri Oto tribe, I think is one of the places we need to start. My concern as an educator, I would love to know if there are other tribes that have programming already developed that align with national curriculum that we could already implement alongside, versus walking up to somebody we haven't met before, hey, you wanna come tell me your culture?
I understand that, but I think that if we reach out and we have a conversation with them, especially like early on this next coming semester, that gives them a chance to reach out to another tribe and say, hey, do you guys have something in place that we could go off of?
Okay.
That's my heart.
Yeah.
I'm not wanting to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
But I think that, I think what an awesome opportunity to hear the stories that these folks have heard passed down through the years.
I totally respect that. I see and hear your heart. Is that the purpose of this committee, is to establish a dialogue with?
I don't believe so.
For education?
For future considerations.
For future considerations, sure, but I think that probably would be best based out of the Ashley Anderson or some kind of curriculum movement.
So then why is it on here?
Because you told me to put it on there.
Yeah, because I read.
So I put it on there.
The committee can't mandate that.
No, but it's just good for us to have in our forethought proceeding.
Yeah, how do we go about it so that we still achieve this objective, but at the same time, the original discussion was based around the mascot.
Well, obviously, I mean, that's not something we need to be doing right now, but
I'm sorry. It might be better served if it turned on the YouTube channel, I don't know.
Dr. Curry, from the structure of the schools in terms of curriculum, would you feel more comfortable as an educator and lead of our schools that if this conversation, that part of this discussion, was led from the curriculum side at the building level, or rather have the committee begin the research of this?
I think it'd be better from the curriculum side and building level.
So that's
Because
something,
they know their curriculum and where that would fit and how to implement that.
totally.
so then, because I'm with you, I want this achieved. So then how would you recommend us advising you to go ahead and implement that conversation?
Oh, we can start that tomorrow, actually.
Good.
Great.
Awesome.
If you have some contacts with that, send them our way.
So then I'm gonna scratch the future considerations. And are we fine with the 4 precedences that are laid out, or the 4 mandates that are laid out for the committee to present? And would you like to add anything to that or subtract it?
I guess a guidance, documentation, and everything in which they present to us. Citation sources, I'm not going to format, but to know where it comes from.
You don't want that in Chicago?
I would, but I'm not going to do
Just checking. Okay. So I think that can just be a conversation with our leadership.
Yep.
For the sake of transparency, would you read off?
I would be very happy to read off the goals. Four goals. Identify origins and meanings of the Savannah Savage mascot, including any historical record of the Savage farmer legend. Financial cost plan associated with the possibility of amending the name and or logo. Research mascot usage to find precedents and best practices. And to provide a recommendation to the board regarding mascot usage.
Stacey, you remind me the timeframe you've established for this committee.
Be done in January, so there are 2 meetings in November, a meeting in December, maybe January, I'm sorry, I don't have that in front of me, Joe, it's either January or February, for the
So,
recommendation.
We're expecting the recommendation early next year.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am?
So it's just examining the financial cost if the change were to take place,
Yes,
nothing in there about, how that would happen? You know, maybe exploring grants or,
I think that's, depending on the outcome of the committee, I think that's our future considerations, I don't think that that's something that this committee should take up. But most definitely, this board is very community friendly in that we want to have all those voices heard, so I think that that's a very necessary step, is to, if that's what happens.
Would we need to form another committee then?
I
To do
think so,
that?
and I would think that would be a much larger committee, this is all speculation. Okay, we have a committee, we have a matrix, we're going to guide, and I really appreciate the collaboration tonight. Nice, very nice.
Excuse me,
Yes, we're officially adjourning the work session.
at what time will you release the names of the committee?
It'll be during the regular board meeting, it is item,
That's fine.
We want to take a 3-minute break, 3-minute break, 3-minute recess.
Probably one of them that everyone likes. You definitely weren't one of the numbers where people yelled no.
but my God, do I wanna know who that was?
Well, we definitely wanna know about it.
Right, so there's a couple of consent and then we'll just move the discussion items for,
Do you wanna go here to do it? After you vote on the consent stuff?
yes.
Kelly, let me down, you're gonna bring the person.
I just don't know when I'm gonna do it.
Hello.
I'm sorry.
I know these, you have to have like some right
Right,
here.
I know.
Which
I
is
wonder
your,
I wonder if yours is
I don't
that.
know how to work this one. Find out. You should be here.
Oh, it's here. How are you?
Well, when the street and the sidewalk, and my happy cottage.
Hey, like I said, it's your turn.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, she is also good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Also, that's just easy, I guess. Yeah. But it's been 20 years there for a while. We, and it's not gonna tell you all right in the middle of the street, those meters now. That's it. Ah, it's your doing. Okay. And then,
I would think that's the last picture is in my.
sorry.
Can we move like this? Okay.
I damaged the whole procedure. He's in writing, that's why I'm checking. Well, I appreciate that, but it sounded, he was pretty confident, so it sounds like it's gonna be some trouble. It's been quite an experience. Yeah. Let's go.
Ready? Good evening. Thank you for coming to the business meeting tonight. If you will rise and join me in the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I got it. Just the cards.
Ready? Okay.
when you honor someone and they won't even come into the room because they don't want to stand up in front of the crowd. So in our conversations that started in like March, our concern has always been the feeding and health and safety of our kids. And at the forefront of that discussion is Kathy Snyder. Now, she won't tell you she's forefront in that conversation because whenever you say, Kathy, what a great job, oh, it wasn't me. Oh, Kathy, thank you so much. Oh, it wasn't me. It was my ladies, right? It was the lunch ladies. But to have the lunch ladies do such a great job, they have to have such a great leader. And there is no lunch lady finer than you. Thank you for all that you have done in the pandemic. Thank you for feeding our kids. Not only did Kathy make sure that we were feeding the kids, but when kids came through to pick up food, she made her lunch ladies aware that she should look for social and emotional health issues. I mean, you just have been at the forefront of the heart of these kids because you are the heart of our district. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
She also does not like her picture made, so now we have a picture for all future newsletters and everything. Fortunately, you can crop me out, right? Kathy also makes me a picture. I forgot to say that.
Remember, we're live.
Do what?
We're live.
Oh. It's still true. It's still true. Okay. Was there any cards? Nope, no cards. Okay. First thing on the docket is to approve the agenda as it's written by unanimous consent. Is there any objections to the agenda as it's written? Seeing none, we will approve that. Consent agenda. Is there anything that you would like to move to the consent agenda or take off the consent agenda? Okay, I'd like to have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Thank you, Joe. Is there a second?
I'll say.
Thank you, Jamin. Any discussion on the consent agenda? Seeing none, we will proceed to vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Would you like to move the discussion items forward, or do we just want to do the general journal?
Okay, we're on the track. Go ahead.
General journal.
So, very easily you can see, there you go. Very easily you can see that on the receipts from last year, we were down about almost $13,000 on our receipts. We spent about the same, it doesn't look like that because $140,000 on that Fund 4, the building fund, was CARES money. And then when you look down and checking our balances, our total balances from previous years, right now we're still up 588 over last year, 588,000. That does include 158 of the extra CARES money the governor put forth in the last month we received it. So you'll be getting some ideas of it has to do towards CARE stuff. Our illustrious lunch lady has some ways that to do some stuff with that, with improving our facilities so we can serve the kids and get more food in, and store some more stuff. So she'll be coming up with some things on that. So we're still in really good shape, and we're still holding on to as much capital as we can. I sent out today something from Moody to y'all, an email, talking about tax revenue from the state is still up. This month is down, so that's a very good thing. So I was able to talk to Senator Hageman last week about the idea of that tax kicking in, because we had 2 tax years this year. There was a tax they voted in a few years ago a deduction in tax. They voted a few years ago when the state brings in a certain amount of money over what it did the year before. And since this is 2 years of really taxes that came in this year, it would trigger that, is the idea. And they might have to do something to stop that. So I talked to Senator Hageman about that a little bit, see if we can do something about that, since it is a extenuating circumstance this year. So financially, we're still in. I feel with all that's going on, I feel like we are in as good shape as we could possibly be. So.
May I entertain a motion to approve the general journal?
So moved.
Thank you, Diane. For the second. Any further questions or discussions on the general journal? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor of general journal, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Ad hoc committee members. How would you like to do this? You want to give me the number and I'll read the name?
Sure.
Or do you want to?
Yep.
Okay,
You want to do it that way?
yes.
Okay. Okay, so,
27 for the chair.
the chair, number 27,
So we want to invite Randy Roth to be our chair.
and alternate, for that is number 1.
Owen Compton.
Okay.
You have names on there too? Well, I'll just read this.
Okay.
Yes.
It's official.
Yes, so members, I'm just gonna list off all the members and then the 4 alternates. Members are Tiffany Crawford, Ross Swinson, Tara Cox, Trey Downs, Evan Coldry, Chaz Lyle, Brenda Lynn, Angela Trimmer, Emily Weiss, Jason Searless, Holly Taylor, and Bruce Marichek.
Now, who are the alternates?
Emily, the last 4, Emily Weiss, Jason Searless, Holly Taylor, and Bruce Marichek are the alternates.
That'll be added to the minutes, yes, right?
Yes, sure, absolutely.
And just a reminder, I know there are a lot of people in the House that applied to be on the committee. If those committee meetings are open, so you may attend all of them. Here's the office. And we will, yeah. Okay, grant applications, anybody have any questions over the $850 grant application? Look like a great math time to me. Work session. So we have kind of said that these committee meetings were gonna replace our work session, so no work session November, no work session December. Is everybody okay with that? The holiday season is tight.
Are we going to look at putting another levies maybe just for maintenance on the valve? I think that has to be done. I think the deadline for that is,
If you wanna get the April election, probably gotta have it on January 15th.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So do we want,
We can just put down a board meeting, that's something, not do down a work session, have a conversation with that. If you want to do that.
yeah, I'm good with
Put
that.
it as a discussion.
Okay. Sounds good. Hybrid update, did I see Sarah slip in? Sarah slipped in.
I did, I apologize, I'm not overly professionally dressed and I was late.
Can't use stuff on that.
Changed a tire on the side of the road before I came in, so. Hybrid update, we've been very blessed in the sense that, let me rephrase that. We have unfortunately had a number of positive cases at the high school. We have been blessed in the sense that it has been limited quarantine thanks to the hybrid model. And it has kept our numbers very small in those quarantines for the most part, because of the being able to do social distancing. Our engagement in the Zoom, at the beginning of every hour is up. We had a lot of kids that were struggling in the beginning with technical difficulties and other things, and I think we've got a lot of that hashed out and ironed out, and I think they're getting into the routine of logging in from home and participating in the Zoom meeting, and then continuing on. As far as academics go, I haven't really got a chance to sit down and analyze grade distribution at this point as compared to in the past. It's something that's on my plate somewhere. If I get a day without a positive and contact tracing, maybe tomorrow we'll get to do that with nobody in the building, so. But it's, year to year, it's always different with that grade distribution anyway. We have started with that, with our hybrid model being able to do more, MTSS, the intervention, on Wednesdays and individual intervention for those students that are struggling. So we're trying to keep on top of that and utilize that time to the best of our ability there, so. It seems to be benefiting us to stay in this model, to be in this model, right now for sure, so, with the uptick in cases. Questions?
Could you put some mandates in about cleaning your room, making your bed, not laying in the bed?
I'm telling you, we're working on it. Like, that's gonna be like Zoom etiquette and then like what you should be doing in your free time at home. That'll be our next 101.
I think you guys have done a great job. Thank you for slipping in, and I'm sorry you had to change your time on the road.
That's all right. It happens, but hey.
We would have sent Eric out to help you.
Well, my niece was on her way back. She goes to Western, and she was on her way back from a lab, and called and said, "Aunt Sarah." Danielle was at practice, so I said, "Sure, girl, we can do that."
Yes, you.
We changed the time.
Thank you. Yep. Any questions on any of the district reports? We do have Ms. Becky Booth here and Sydney McQueen, I believe I saw in the back. They're going to talk to us about the ELC.
Absolutely. So is from here good? Can everybody hear me?
I always like to see you up here, but
What's your music like?
we'll use the mic would be safe. Yeah.
There's one right here.
Okay, thank you.
Also, kudos on the matching mask.
Okay. I got that from, I don't know, there's somebody else.
It's on.
On already? Okay, ready to hear me. So, I am super excited. I was afraid we were gonna run out of time because I was told I could talk for an hour and a half tonight about the Early Learning Center. Or 5 minutes, whichever it was. I think Justin maybe said 5 minutes. But I'm super excited to have a chance to talk to you guys about the Early Learning Center because, I don't think we've really have come to the board to talk to you about that. So, I just wanna give you a brief overview tonight and, talk about some awesome things that are going on there. So just to start off with, for those of you who might not know, we have 3 classrooms totally in session right now for a total of 70 students. So comparing this to last year at this time, we were at 23 to 24 students, total of 70. So that is thanks to the school district for their support and providing us the opportunity to have an at-risk classroom. So before that, we were strictly ECSE, so early childhood special education. Kids had to qualify with an IEP to be in our program, and then for every kid that qualified for an IEP, we were able to bring in 1 kid that was a typical peer role model. So that was an awesome experience in itself, but to have this year the ability to serve another just under 40, 36 maybe, at-risk kids who meet at-risk guidelines. So we look specifically at income, but beyond income, there are lots of other at-risk factors in families, and so we have a list of at-risk factors that we look at, and we have our room full. Even with the 70 kids, we have still a waiting list of about 16 that would like to get in yet this year. And we've had a waiting list of about around 10, I think, that are ready to come next year for the 21-22 school year. We had a couple that called last year for the 21-22 school year. So because our waiting list was so long, we are scheduled quite a ways out. But staff, we have 3 preschool teachers. 2 of them are ECSE certified, and the other one is just regular early childhood education. 6 paraprofessionals, so that sounds like a lot. For each of the classrooms, we are provided 1 classroom para. And then along with our IEP kiddos, Sometimes we have kiddos that need extra support, and we can provide this through the IEP if they need guidelines for a personal care. So that might be a kid that's not mobile and they need somebody to push them around. It might be a kid that has some significant behavior concerns and they need some extra support. So we have 3 of those kiddos right now. Actually, we have 4 of those kiddos, but we're making do with the 3 paras that we split amongst them and grouped a couple in one classroom. So, in addition to that, we have a speech and language pathologist part-time, doubles as assistant director, which really she does pretty much full-time along with me. So we have that, we've doubled it there a little bit to get the biggest bang for our buck there. An OT and a PT also that come to serve kids that qualify for those services on an IEP. So that's our building staff. Our curriculum, I am also super grateful to the district because with that title classroom, there's a requirement for a preschool to have a curriculum. There are 4 you can choose from that are approved by the state of Missouri. We chose to go with Project Construct because it does provide a framework that is play-based in nature, but it is only a framework, so that allows us the flexibility to add in the rigor that we want to see in our district along with play-based. So play-based, rigor, they're learning and they're learning lots, and they don't know they're learning lots because they're just playing, and I have some pictures to show you about that. So our teachers and paraprofessionals rocked it this summer, spent 5 days of their own time coming in and learning this program, figuring out ways to incorporate it, and going by what we had known to be research-based instructional methods for our early learning kids. So here's the fun part. Here's some pictures. This is a lot of our center time. I'm going to let Sydney do some talking here about some of these things that are going on in our building.
So our teachers going through all the training this summer really had the opportunity to learn how to incorporate play in the child's day because research does show that they learn best that way. But included in that framework, really be able to take in Missouri Early Learning Standards, have those priority standards, and then learn that way. So they look through each daily, they look through each of their centers and say, okay, in this center's time, how is my student going to learn? How am I going to provide that rigor? How am I going to tackle that early learning standard? And again, the kids, if you ask them, I'm sure they'll just tell you they play all day, but they're really learning. And it's really exciting to see just how much they've learned today. I know, that's our friend there in our hard hat. He's kind of
He's like our poster
child right now. It's one of our favorites.
That was a construction unit, and by the way, they could tell you all of the vocabulary that went with construction, that on the outside they had straws that they used, and I said, what are these straws that are glued on here? And they're like, those are not straws, those are our electrical wiring for our building so we can have electricity. So those are your 3-year-olds that are playing and not learning, but yes, they are.
Exactly. So what's really neat is that we also do have 3-year-olds up to 4 or 5, may turn 5 during the school year. So it's a really good mix. The 3-year-olds are learning from those 5-year-olds. Some of these 5-year-olds that were here last year, they're completely different kids because they're coming in, they feel like they're leaders this year, they're really excited. As you can see, what they were measuring how tall they were based on how many pumpkins long they are. A lot of pre-writing activities, a lot of math involved. Again, they just think they're playing, but they're learning all the way. We know that also during those centers, our teachers and paraprofessionals are on the floor with those kids. They are constantly in contact, working with them, making sure that they're getting in as much learning as possible. So they've really just taken that framework and that curriculum and ran with it. We're very, very proud.
We're also very cognizant that we want this to benefit the Savannah School District by flowing closely into our kindergarten program in our K-12. So our whole purpose is to get a good start for those kindergarten students so they have that successful kindergarten year. So last spring, during a PD day, our pre-K teachers met with our kindergarten teachers to talk about the desired skills that they would like to see. And what we learned was a lot of things we're doing, we're like, we don't expect them to know that when we start kindergarten. It's like, well, we do, so we're gonna keep going on with that. We worked with them, we looked at the kindergarten standards-based progress reports, and we have, Brian, if you flip over, there's a progress report. So we're using the same standards-based 1, 2, 3 model, just like they're gonna see when they go to kindergarten in those classrooms and those progress. So it should flow. We're here to train them on how that's gonna look. I was excited to sit in on conferences. This is a data collection slip sheet. We also ask our teachers to collect data during their center's time, and so they're rocking it with every kid. They're down there every day taking data. And there's more data on letter assessment, that type of thing. I was happy to go to parent-teacher conferences last week, and I sat in on one where the parents said, we didn't know when you have the meeting at the beginning of the year what we're gonna think about this play-based, like, we're not sending our kids here just to play, we want some structure and so the teacher was able to say, we are playing, but when we're playing, your child in center's time today is reading CVC words. They're building words, they know their letters, they know their letter sounds, they're reading words, they're decoding words. In math today, your child worked on symmetry. That was the conversation that we had today in math. So you don't hear that a lot in preschool or with 3 graders or with 3-year-olds, but our teachers are really pushing them. They're like, yeah, we're amazed at the stuff that they're coming home and learning. So I think we've had 98% of our conferences all in attendance, and not a single parent that wasn't just absolutely thrilled with what was going on. So I thank you guys for the support that you have given us, and we have a great Facebook page with a gazillion pictures like that, and we post all the time. So Diane, I know I've seen you on there, so thank you so much for taking the opportunity to do that. Rock star teachers that are working their tails off, so super proud. And I could really talk for another hour if you want me to, but come and see it anytime. We'll probably be reaching out to some board members to come in and do some reading to kids. I know we're short on getting people into our building, so anytime we can get you in or you just want to come in and see what's going on, we welcome you there. So
We support you, Becky, but you guys are the ones in the trenches doing all the hard work. And by that, I mean on the linoleum doing the hard work.
yeah. So thank you. Any questions for us?
You wanna know how to get Joe Junior on the list?
I got anything on this.
Thank you, Becky. Thank you, Sid.
Thank you.
Appreciate it so much. Okay, so don't forget Thanksgiving lunch is on Wednesday this year. Hope y'all can make it. It's at the high school on November 18th at 11:30. You can go. Please make sure you let Jess know that you can attend. It'll be super. Our next board meeting is on December the 8th here in the Fabulous Central Office. I did look up the committee meeting dates just to have that out, and the first one is Thursday, which is this week at 6 p.m. here, and they meet all the way through January the 28th, and that's when we will expect a report on the February business.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for a very good meeting tonight. I appreciate it. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you, Diane. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Joe. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Rocked that thing.
I'm gonna tell you something to what? I'm gonna tell you something to report. You can go. Okay, that's good. I need to be.
How are you? Do you wanna stay back there so you can take your mask down?
Nothing, how are you?
You just tell them.